Barbara Corcoran. She's a very intelligent, savvy investor. And she recently said, if I fall in love with a property and what it has to offer, I assume there are 3 other people who want to outbid me. So I close the deal and move as fast as I can. Don't be afraid to overpay. It will look like a good deal as the years go by. I've seen this actually, not specifically with Barbara, but I've seen this where a buyer will purchase a property that at the time I thought, oh man, they kind of overpaid for that property. And then they're planning to live in the home. So in 2 or 3 years from then, all of a sudden that house looks like an absolute deal. And at the time, when you look at it 2 or 3 years later, it looks like a steal. Because you have to remember, Silicon Valley, 5 to 6% appreciation on a $2 million home, a $1.5 million home, $3 million home, you're looking at $50,000 to $150,000 a year appreciation. So it's a pretty penny when you look back at it. So what I wanted to talk to you about was I wanted to look at this from the seller side as well as the buyer side. You don't have to overpay. You can be smart about it. And you can also make sure you're using the right strategy. Let's look at this from the seller's perspective to start with. If you're selling your home, pricing it 10 to 15% below what you think it's worth can unlock demand. Buyers are emotionally driven. The right price can trigger multiple offers and even a bidding war. Think of Zillow. Homes that are priced right, tons of clicks, saves, and shares. Homes that are overpriced, you get crickets. I've seen this happen. If you want to get top dollar, let the market do the heavy lifting by creating buzz from the start. Now, what I wanted to do is share some Zillow information with you. And this is something that if a home has been sitting for a while, because we will have strategy, I'll have a strategy conversation with the seller every single time. Sometimes the seller does not want to price the home where I suggest. Sometimes the market is just a little wonky and we might get it wrong. It's nobody's fault, but it is about the strategy. How do you best create that strategy? How do you best have that playing field? Let's take a look. If you haven't met Zillow, this is Zillow. And when you're looking here, all of these homes are for sale. If we look at this one here at 1.89, let's take a look and see. It's a beautiful presentation. I cannot reveal the address. It's a copyright issue. But what I can and want to show you is this. This one has been on Zillow for 3 days. It has 769 views and 22 saves. Now what I'm going to do is go over to MLS. I'm going to take this property and I'm going to go into realtor mode. Now this screen I cannot show you either, and I apologize. Okay, so now this property, I just pulled this up on MLS and I pulled comparables. When I look at this, I see that this is priced a little on the higher side. This is a beautiful home, but it's priced a little on the higher side. Now, with that said, it's only been on the market for 3 days and it has 769 views and 22 saves. So that means it's a beautiful property. Again, priced a little on the higher side, but the value is likely there. So then the question becomes, what if they were to price it under that mark, 10 to 15%? If it's the case that they were to price it under, they would most likely get more views, and then people would see that other people are seeing that, and Zillow would also show that other people are seeing the home. Once the algorithm on Zillow shows that other people are looking at the home, then it's going to make Zillow push that home to other people as well. Once that happens, you're having Zillow do the work for you. Let's take another house, for example. Now, this house, when you look at it, again, beautiful home. It's been on the market for 31 days. Now, that becomes kind of a stale listing. It does have a $76,000 price drop. It's got over 2,000 views, 2,168 views, and 100 saves. Now, since there's a price drop of $73,000, I can already tell you that it most likely was priced too high. Now, whether the initial price was closer to what they expect or not, it was overpriced going on to the market, going on to MLS. I'm going to do the same thing that I did on the last property. And within a few clicks, I can tell you that yes, this house actually was priced on the higher side. So it's much closer to where the actual price should be instead of bringing it down 10 or 15% below. And when I look at that, 31 days on the market, over 2,000 views, that's a lot of views and 100 saves. So people do like the home, but the home is still on the market. Now, it's not pending currently and it's not under contract. That means that nobody has brought an offer that the seller is willing to accept. It's also possible it's a difficult seller. Now, if we look at another property, and on this one, it's been on the market for 4 days. It's got 997 views and 62 saves. So what does that tell you? Right there, it's going to tell you, and I know for a fact that this property is priced lower on the market. It's priced about 15%, maybe a little bit lower than where it actually should end up or what the comparables are. The reason for that is when you look at the property, the strategy there is maybe the market is a little bit different. Who knows? If the market is a little bit different, then you want to be more aggressive with pricing times. Every once in a while, the market does shift and change so that you almost have to come in where the value of the home is close to what you actually are asking. It's not often that we do that. However, sometimes we do, and sometimes it makes sense to do that. If we look at another property here, I'll do one more. Now, this one again, beautiful home, 1648, been on the market for 4 days, 473 views and 19 saves. So again, that's solid. 1648, probably a little closer to where they actually expect to be. On this one, I kind of have an idea of where they would expect to be. So that's about 10% below probably what they expect. Again, you see a good amount. So it's a beautiful home. You got 4 days on the market, 473 views, and you have 19 saves. That means that it's hitting the mark in that sense. It goes both directions. As a seller, when you're pricing the home, you want to talk to your listing agent. You want to listen to your listing agent. Your listing agent should have a strategy. And it shouldn't be throw spaghetti against the wall and hope that it sticks. Even if the market is shifting one direction or the other, there needs to be a strategy. If this ever comes up, if you need help with this, I'm always happy to help. You can also talk to your agent. Let's talk about the buyer side for a second. As a buyer, this is your edge. Don't just look at what's new, look at what's been sitting. This is actually huge. And when I'm working with buyers, this is exactly what I do. I'll go to MLS and I'll look to see what's been sitting for long in the area that they like. Now, there's a couple of different ways to look at that, but that is certainly the first step because some of the best opportunities are hiding in plain sight. They're just overlooked because of the bad pricing or poor presentation. Seller, if you're listening still, please make sure you stage the home. Please make sure you at least put a fresh coat of paint on the home. There's very minor details that need to be taken care of before you actually put a home on the market. And when I work with my sellers, for every dollar you put in, you want to get back 3. And that's the way you want to look at it. Sometimes it's very minimal work and I can't even get it out, but sometimes it's just very minimal work that you actually have. But switching back to buyers, here's how to find a deal. Look at listings that have been sitting for 30 plus days. And in our market in Silicon Valley, 20 plus days is a good place to start. Cross-check the number of saves and views on Zillow, just like I was just showing you. Then you ask yourself, is it the house or just marketing that's lacking? You can kind of tell by the marketing typically if the pictures are dark, if it's not staged, if it's still being lived in, it's at least worth a second look. If the home has a solid floor plan, good bones or potential in the neighborhood, and it's been sitting, you may have found your next big win. And unlike Barbara, you might not have to overpay to get it. So when we're looking on the buyer's side, that's exactly what you want to look for. Okay, so when you go to Zillow and you look for the properties that have been on the market for 14, 30 days, look at the property. And first what you want to do is you want to look, and even if the property is a beautiful home, take a look and see. It's a very nice home, but it's been on the market for 20 days. 20 days on Zillow, it has 938 views and 54 saves. Now, when I look at this, I have an idea that the value is right there because this gives me the Zestimate, which actually is a punchline in the realtor community is the Zestimate, but every once in a while it is accurate. And if I see a Zestimate at 1,688, that does tell me that this is priced towards the top. So priced towards the top, 20 days on Zillow, 938 views, and it's 54 saves within that time. And since it's still on the market, that means that it hasn't had an offer that the seller will accept. And so this by itself is a great place to start. And then when you're working with a realtor, also ask them what has been sitting on the market for X amount of time. That's one of the things that I do for my buyers, and it works really well. I'll go through for my buyers and I will search MLS for properties that have been on the market for 15, 30, 45, even 100 days and more. If it's a specific neighborhood or area that they want, I'll look at the different houses, and in those houses, I'll find the different area and also what does that house look like currently. If we find the right house and it currently does not have the right aesthetics or does not have the right layout, I'll walk with my buyer through and see what is it going to cost to get this house to become your home. That's a great strategy that works so well, and I've been doing it for a very long time in my life. Whether you're selling or buying, data and psychology are your best friends. Sellers, price to create demand, not to defend your number. I've met so many sellers that want to fight a battle on that hill of the number. It makes more sense to get people to engage and to want to buy the home. Buyers, find the gold hiding behind the stale listings. Such a great strategy to have. The best deals aren't always obvious, but they are there. If you know where to look, and you have to know where to look. Want help uncovering the next opportunity or pricing yours to stand out? Give me a call. I'm always here and happy to help. Hope you have a wonderful day.